Bonjour et bienvenue sur ma chaîne, le français du tourisme.
Hello and welcome to my channel, French for Tourism. My name is Eileen. This channel is dedicated to tourism students studying French as their foreign language of choice, and anyone in the tourism industry, as well as persons interested in learning the French language for tourism purposes. Let's get started. The French silent sounds. There are always letters at the ends of words, and no, I'm not just talking about that silent E that you just don't pronounce.
Les lettres muettes.
Silent letters, like most language concepts in French, have rules and exceptions. In English, we have a silent E on tons of words. And in French, the silent E abides by many of the same rules. Unless it has an accent on it or is part of a two-letter word, you don't pronounce that E. For example,
Le. Ce.
There's more to French silent letters than just the E. And the best way to get these silent consonants down, other than straight up immersing yourself in French, is to get familiar with which endings are pronounced and which aren't. These are usually pronounced at the end of the word. B, C, F, L, Q, R. Again, this isn't a hard and fast rule. Like English, French is full of exceptions that like to come at you from all angles. The common exceptions in which this consonant's unpronounced, you learn over time. For instance, dash are infinitives.
Blanc.
For now, concentrate on pronouncing the endings of words like these.
Un club. Avec. Actif. Un look. Un bol. 5. Hiver.
So now that you know, for the most part, what you should pronounce, back to the silent treatment. These letters are usually not pronounced at the end of a word. P, G, N, M, S, T, D, X, Z. Here's where things get more straightforward. That's a lot of letters I just listed, meaning that the majority of the time, outside of your everyday exceptions, most of them being either proper nouns or words borrowed from another language, you leave off that last letter. Just cut it out. Don't pronounce it. To give you an idea, here are some words where you leave the ending hanging.
Trop. Le sang. Le train. Le parfum. Vous. Poulet. Froid. Le prix. Chez.
The general rule here ends up being that you probably shouldn't say the last consonant. Pay attention to those exceptions when you're watching your favorite French TV shows. French subtitles come in handy here. Nasal sounds. Vowels followed by M or N, getting nasal. Remember how, as a kid, when you tried to imitate the French, you would plug your nose up and talk about croissants? Well, that nasal sound that so many people get hung up on is very much part of the French language and can prove to be a pronunciation tough spot for many. Does this mean you need to be plugging your nose while you speak? No, that's just plain rude. In fact, the whole point of nasal vowels is that with regular oral vowels, the vowel is pronounced just with the mouth, and with nasal, it's pronounced with air coming out of the nose and the mouth. M and N unpronounced at the ends of words, and this doesn't change that. When you see them, you just need to know that the vowel becomes nasal, so start pushing that air through your nose. Try humming with the letter M then the letter N. You should feel vibrations in your nose if you touch it. Something to keep in mind. If an M or N is followed by another vowel, then it's not a nasal sound. For example, this is nasal.
Un,
But this is not.
une,
Here are some French words to practice nasal vowels with.
quand, plein, lundi, emporter, important, bon.
Did you feel the air coming out of your nose and mouth? You should feel a difference between these nasal sounds and a regular am or an sound in English. The liaison. French has a musicality to it that is achieved using liaison. The liaison is the combination of words, so that the last consonant is joined with the first letter of the next word, if the next word begins with a vowel. Everything has got to flow. If you're speaking French correctly, then everything should come out like one beautiful ongoing poem. Liaisons are essentially a link between two words that would otherwise sound awkward. Here's what I mean. Let's say you want to say I have 2 light bulbs.
J'ai 2 ampoules.
Normally, you would ignore that X at the end of 2 and move on to the next word like normal, hoping your accent does the trick to make it flow.
Deux.
Here, though, since the following word starts with a vowel sound, you can't leave that X hanging like usual. If you left it hanging, you'd have something that sounded like this.
Deux. Ampoule.
There are a few key things to know in order to make phrases like this have that French-approved resonance. So here are the consonants that can elicit a liaison and what it then sounds like. D sounds like T. N and P sound like themselves. S and X sound like Z. If you see one of these letters at the end of a word with a vowel beginning the following word, you pronounce it according to these rules, making this phrase to be pronounced like this.
Deux ampoules.
But that's not all there is to it. You don't always make liaisons with the letters I've listed. So, let's go over the specifics of when you should and shouldn't make the liaison happen. Liaison. 1. After a pronoun. 2. Before a noun. 3. When it's a number. 4. When it's a preposition with one syllable like in this case.
Chez, en.
5. With the indefinite or definite articles.
Les, des, un.
Whatever you do, don't liaison when it's 1. A name. 2. After the word and.
Et.
3. Before the word 11.
11.
4. After nouns. 5. Before the word yes.
Oui.
Other examples.
Comment vous appelez-vous? Vous êtes mon ami.
Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you like this video, click the like button and share. Subscribe for more videos like this.
Au revoir.
And goodbye.